Like, again, Louis, look at the meat, dairy and eggs on your plate. Ask yourself that question. You know, hello everyone, welcome to another video. So in this video, I'm going to be reacting to or responding to Louis Theroux, and he did a couple of clips here on YouTube. They're quite old, but I thought they were very interesting, and I hadn't seen them before the other day. So I thought I would just respond to some of the things I saw in there, and we're going to juxtapose it with a couple of interesting clips that I have as well. So let's go.
You said, you know, if these animals didn't get hunted, they wouldn't be here. There's no other reason for them to be here. They would never have been bred. They would never have been bred. But then you could say, to be bred just to be hunted, you know, what kind of a life is that? No.
So like this guy's breeding these animals, specific species of animal in Africa, so that he can get money off people to basically hunt them down, which I thought was quite interesting. And he's like, to be bred just to be hunted, you know, what type of life is that? To be bred just to be killed. Now Louis Theroux, obviously, Louis, he's not a vegan, so like, look, to be bred to be slaughtered and eaten, what type of life is that? Just apply that logic. Come on, Louis.
Wonderful, because 1/10 of them is selected and becomes a magic ball forever, and the other 9/10 have a place on the wall. You won't even have a place on the wall. They're going to have a place on the wall.
So he's like, oh, one will become like this breeding buck or whatever, and the others will have a place on the wall. You know, you won't even have a place on the wall. Imagine if I hunted you down and cut your head off and gave you a place on the wall. This is the stuff made of, like, you know, the royal family to have a place on the wall. It's just like kind of psychotic when you think about it. Like, I think the animals just want to, you know, live, and they don't want their head cut off and be placed on the wall.
Chickens are bred for eating, you know, and we don't say that we're going to hunt them. We just breed them so that we can eat them.
Yeah.
But these are being bred to be killed.
Oh my God, Louis, come on. I think he's trying to avoid the chicken in the room or the elephant in the room. And it's like, oh, you know, at least we're eating these chickens, therefore it's morally justified. It's like, okay, Louis, well, if he was breeding all of those animals over there in Africa, like, let's just say he was breeding elephants and lions and rhinos, if he was breeding them to be hunted and also ate them afterwards, would you say that that then was morally justified? Come on, Louis. I think Louis a little bit more rational and smarter than he's appearing to be on this show here.
For no other purpose.
But you don't understand. The purpose is for the sport of hunting.
See? He's just saying, well, what the purpose is for the sport of hunting. Just like when you pay for chickens to be murdered, Louis, you're saying the purpose is to eat them. But we've got plant-based options. You can't just eat the plant-based options. You know, there's no need to mass breed, you know, chickens in factory farms. I would say that what happens to chickens in factory farms could arguably be ethically worse than, you know, what's going on here. Factory farm chickens are one of the most abused animals on earth. Those sheds are disgusting, and they live for 6 weeks, and then they're just slaughtered in the most horrific way. So, Louis, come on. Just like the last BBC documentary, Louis, look in your own backyard.
I hate fucking elephants because they kill.
Okay, so now in this next clip, Louis gets the guy a little bit angry, and he's sort of talking about elephants.
They don't eat the shitty bush. Now we can't get a permit to destroy or remove these elephants because the public, the world public, thinks that we are cuckoos. Because that question you asked me, doesn't it hurt you to hunt it?
Well, like, he's saying the public will oppose him getting a permit to destroy the elephant. So he, you know, he would obviously like to have that permit because then he could, like, offer the land for hunters to go and hunt these elephants. And the public think he's cuckoo for wanting to destroy these elephants because the elephants destroy the trees. So the elephants are just eating and living, and he hates the elephants because of this.
It doesn't hurt me. I grew up in another culture.
See, hunting doesn't hurt him. You know, it doesn't hurt him to hunt these animals, doesn't hurt his feelings, because he grew up in another culture. So he's using culture, though.
I mean, do you think it hurt?
You care about the animal. You care about the animals.
I care about it, that's right. But
you don't want to see them all extinct, do you?
He doesn't care about the individual animal at all. Otherwise, he wouldn't be shooting them in the neck.
That's why they're going to go extinct if they don't bring any money. What have I done with all the money I've made out of sables? Bought other sables, created the natural environment where they used to live. And I'm telling you, if it's not for hunting, there will be no species left in Africa.
So he's saying, like, without him breeding these animals for hunting, there won't be any species left. So he's using the species extinction sort of thing as an argument here to continue this morally reprehensible practice of hunting these animals. Now, there's another guy here. His name is Damien Mander, and he's the founder of the International Anti-Poaching Foundation. Now, this guy's a special ops sniper and hunter that become an anti-poaching vegan. So this guy's pretty cool. Now, if you were to protect these animals, like some type of conservation land, like what these guys are doing, you think that that's a good way of stopping the species from becoming extinct? You know, just protecting them instead of breeding them into existence to shoot them? Like, what a bizarre way of, like, protecting a species. Very financially driven, not ethically driven at all. Let's hear a few words from this guy, Damien. Sounds like a bit of a legend, this guy.
I started to realise that every day I was going out on patrol and protecting one animal and coming home at night and putting another animal on the fire. And I knew I was full of shit.
So he's just pointing out his own hypocrisy. This is how a lot of us change. He was like protecting animals, but then he was going home and eating them.
The easiest way to protect other animals is just not to put them in your mouth.
Wow, a bit of logic there. What a legend. What a legend. Come on, Louis, where's your logic? All right, let's continue.
You would like us not to film any hunting, is that right? And why is that?
If you show hunting, it's offensive to 98% of the people. So that'll give the film a negative taint before you start. It's about farming. What we came to do is farming.
So basically, he doesn't want to show the hunting because it's got this massive negative connotation, hunting, because most people don't want to see animals being shot down. But this points out an obvious hypocrisy because most 98% of people are actually eating animals. But he's saying it's just offensive to show the hunting. But okay, if it's morally fine, why is it so offensive to show? I mean, that's what Louis is getting at here.
Are just so many people that want to do that.
What?
Hunt. There are just so many, and they want to hunt. That's what they like.
Well, a lot of people like to hunt. I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen this film called The House That Jack Built. It's pretty horrible, so I don't know if you would want actually something that you'd want to watch, but it's about a serial killer. I've got a few scenes here that I'm going to juxtapose just to, like, show how insane the idea of ethical hunting actually is.
That's also how I like to see it, based on the fact that the two older animals can survive without the young one. Whereas, if you shot the mother first and didn't get the others, both fawns would probably not survive. So in this manner, you then shoot the bigger fawn and then the mother last.
So basically talking about ethical hunting here, how you shoot the mother last. He's saying this is the most ethical way to go about it. And then he's got this family here that he's taken on a hunting trip.
Stop! George! George!
My family was moving in the wrong order. I've always taken ethical hunting rules very seriously. On that point, I think of myself as a bit of a gentleman.
Oh, an ethical hunter sees himself as a bit of a gentleman, you know. He's taking his ethical hunting rules very seriously. Psychotic when you put it in the human context, isn't it?
So these lions, will they be hunted?
Everyone.
They will.
There's the only value. What other value is there to a lion?
Yeah, so you raise them for hunting.
I only raise them for hunting.
And
if the hen doesn't lay eggs, we eat her. The ones that lay eggs, they stay one side, they have an 18-month period. And Miss Hen, do you know, this is your cage, you lay one egg a day. And if you don't lay one egg a day, we eat you too.
So basically saying he's just raising these, like he's farming basically these lions to be hunted. And he's like, just like how I farm the egg-laying hens, and in 18 months they get killed and eaten anyway. And if they don't lay me one egg a day, I'll kill them and eat them. So he sees these animals as just mere commodities. All farmers do. All animal farmers do.
how do you feel about your lions? No. Do you love them?
No. It's just a plain commodity.
Yeah, so he doesn't love the lions. Lions are obviously vicious predators, so maybe I can kind of understand why he doesn't get much love from the lions. I mean, they're just wild animals. I mean, they're not very loving. They probably see him as a big piece of food. But, like, you know, this guy, I don't see him caring about any animals. He's just... He doesn't really have, like, that speciesist thing where he'll be like, oh, protect one species of animal and, you know, eat chicken like Louis does. That's Louis's culture. But this guy's more consistent across the board, which doesn't make it okay, but he's just like mass breed and hunt these ones, and we'll slaughter these ones for their eggs, and, you know.
There's a lot of pressure on hunters because people don't understand it. And I've tried to explain it to you before, but that's why I say if you don't pull the trigger, you don't know, hey, why does this guy like to kill animals? Because it basically comes to the point, man, you kill animals.
Yeah, until you pull the trigger yourself, you don't know how good it is, how good it feels. You know, why do you like to kill? You can just ask Jack. Ask the house that Jack built about that.
Just doesn't the hunting part, nobody listens to that. This is like, that guy's a murderer, he kills animals, look at all the blood.
That guy's a murderer, he kills humans, look at all the blood.
Like, hey, do you eat beef, do you eat lamb? How do you think they get killed? It's worse than you ever can believe. It's the killing we do are clean compared to how domestic animals, horses, cattle get killed in the slaughtering houses.
Very good point. So basically he's calling everyone a hypocrite. He's saying, you're calling me out for being a murderer for hunting these animals, which I agree, he is a murderer. But, you know, you guys are paying for animals to be slaughtered in sometimes more horrific ways for your meat, dairy and eggs. You know, very good point, mate. That doesn't mean that hunting is therefore morally justified because, you know, I could kill you in a more horrific way. That doesn't mean that killing you in a less horrific way is therefore morally passable, morally permissible. So basically what he's trying to do is morally justify hunting because meat eaters cause more suffering by just eating out of a slaughterhouse.
People eat it, they've got no idea where this piece of beef comes from. Well, this piece of beef grew on somebody's farm, and then somebody killed it with a little pen and shot it in the head, and it dropped, and while it was still kicking, somebody cut the vein. Nobody can relate and say, oh, it's bad to shoot cows, or it's bad to eat beef because beef are being slaughtered.
Basically calling everyone a hypocrite. You know, he's saying you're all hypocrites, don't have a go at hunters, and I would agree with him, but I do not agree with hunting. So don't hunt. And don't pay for animals to be slaughtered in a slaughterhouse either. Just be a vegan, like good old Damien.
And hunting is different, because hunting's got a negative attachment to it.
I wonder why.
Listen, do it, and after that you'll know you like it or you don't like it. Because now you still don't know. You have to pull the trigger to know the difference.
Shall we ask Jack about that? He's following the ethical hunting rules, and I think he likes it. It's absolutely horrific. Like, this is just a movie, guys, but, you know, even watching a scene like this from a movie can be quite distressing, so I'm sorry for that, but I'm just trying to get people to understand, like, why hunting is so horrific, and when you put it in the human context, you actually start to see.
Is there pleasure in taking an animal's life? That's what's hard to get to grips with.
Well, I don't know, Louis, why don't you, you know, look at the chicken burger that you gained pleasure from eating the other night and ask yourself that question.
It's definitely not a pleasure. It's a goal you set yourself. I mean, we're the super predator on the planet.
So it's not pleasure, it's just a goal you set yourself. Like Jack set himself the goal to hunt down those children before. He's also like a predator. You know, you could see Jack as a predator. Like, I don't know why you would want to label yourself like a predator. I think that that's just weird and disturbing. You know, I don't want to be a predator. You know, why can't we just eat plants and try to mitigate as much animal harm as we sort of practically can? I mean, it's just crazy you'd want to consider yourself a predator. And this guy doesn't look like a predator. Those lions in that cage before, they look like predators. They look like they're eating, you know, other animals for survival. And they don't look like they try to do things clean and quick and ethically. They just rip animals to shreds because they're true, you know, predators. This guy here, he just looks like a, you know, herbivorous human being.
Planet.
But there's something predatorial in the nature of people that we enjoy killing an animal.
Some people enjoy killing.
Like, again, Louis, look at the meat, dairy and eggs on your plate. Ask yourself that question. You know...
Some people don't. Every individual draws their own line. So every person's different.
Well, Jack doesn't draw the line between, humans and non-human animals there, so that's just his preference, you know. Just pull the trigger and see if you like it. I mean, it just sounds really psychopathic, doesn't it? Some people enjoy murdering, some people don't. Like, that doesn't tell us whether it's ethical to murder, you're just telling us what someone's preferences are. And like a psychopath like Jack might have some very distasteful, horrible, unethical preferences, but that doesn't tell us whether or not we should do it. We ought to participate in it.
I don't think I can do it, Clint. I'm not feeling an urge to do it. I'm feeling an urge not to do it.
Okay, well, that's your decision.
Well, there you go. Louis exercising a little bit of empathy here. He can't pull the trigger on the animal himself, so therefore he shouldn't be paying someone else to slaughter animals on his behalf. Come on, Louis. Use like that logic that you seem to use when you're rationalizing yourself through these documentaries. Like, have you got a massive blind spot here? Like, you can't kill an animal, but you're happy to pay someone to mass breed them in factory farms. You know, most chickens in the UK are factory farmed, and you're paying for that to happen, right? But you won't shoot a pig. You know, neither would I. I don't want to shoot a pig either. I don't want to pay someone to do it for me. So a bit of consistency would help.
I really don't think I want to do it. I'm sorry.
Hunter there looked disappointed that he didn't want to murder that animal. I mean, God.
I didn't want to kill the animal. There's a part of me that feels like, well, yeah, it makes sense to face up to the gore of nature and be part of that process.
It makes sense to face up to the gore of nature, just like Jack, you know? Like, come on, dude, like, no, you don't need to face up to the gore of nature. Like, any serial killer could use that as a justification. You know, I was just trying to face up to the gore of nature. That's all I'm doing. You know, this is my preference. And also, I think it makes more sense for me to kill the human myself before I eat them, just to face up to the gore of nature.
Like I said, not everybody's a hunter. You'll eat the meat, but you won't kill it. That's fine.
Yeah, not everyone's a mass murdering serial killer like Jack either. You know, some of us, you know, prefer not to. And he just called Louis out on camera about his hypocrisy. You'll eat the meat, but you won't kill it. That's fine. In his mind, he's just saying you're a bloody hypocrite.
People just have to respect that, really.
Leave it to the professionals.
That's it.
So there we go. Louis, he can't kill animals himself. He doesn't have the courage. He's got a bit of empathy in his heart. I can't kill animals myself either. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it unless I absolutely had to in some scenario. Now, Louis, you are a grade 1 hypocrite, mate. Come on, can't you see that? You know, you're out here, you know, making this documentary about these hunters. You're criticising them for farming these animals for the purpose of hunting, you know, but you're paying for, like, egregious cruelties. He's from the UK. I mean, the UK has been exposed constantly. These red tractor farms are being exposed. The majority of pigs and chickens in the UK, like the vast majority, so 90%, over 90% of pigs, 95% of chickens, they're all factory farmed. Guarantee you that's what he's buying. And they're all horrifically slaughtered anyway. Every single animal will be shot in the head and have their throat cut open so Louis can eat their flesh or steal their milk, you know, or take their eggs. And, like, can't he see that? Like, I'm surprised that this was so long ago and Louis is still not a vegan. Louis, if you are a vegan, I will, like I say to all these BBC presenters, if they have, you know, miraculously gone vegan, used a bit of logic, become consistent, I'll happily take back what I said and put an apology down below, but I don't think he has. So there we go. We got a bunch of, you know, hunters. You know, we got a cool guy called Damien, who has gone from being a hunter himself and being a special ops sniper to being a vegan who protects animals. You know, you got serial killer Jack here doing some ethical hunting of his own. And then you got Louis, the grade 1 hypocrite. So, alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that video, just pointing out a bit of hypocrisy for everyone, a few inconsistencies, some old stuff here, but I really wanted to respond to it. I thought it was quite profound, some of the contradictions in here, and just some of the illogical statements from Louis. But if you want me to respond to anything, leave some suggestions down below, and I'll see if I can react to that. Alright guys, I'll see you all in the next video. Peace!